Hello, my name is Manolia. I'm 12 years old and I'm 7th grade. Today I'm going to do an interview with my father. What is the job sector you work in?
I am working in maritime business. Mainly we are doing the maritime transportation by professional way.
What danger can people in the profession be exposed to?
Well, since our profession we are executing in the sea, usually we have a trouble and the difficulty when we are traveling, when we are navigating at depth sea in ocean.
Do you need any diploma to execute your job?
Of course, we have not only diploma, we need some certificates and some training certificates before start to work at sea, and these are the depend which kind of vessel you are working, because each vessel have its own certificates to work.
Do you have any other occupation related to your job?
Yes, I have occupation. I have my second profession as I'm a radio officer. Uh, when we are working in vessel, we have also responsibility, and we used to communicate by radio communication from vessel to vessel and to vessel to earth. That's why we need also to have a study and training about the radio officer.
In what area do you work in?
It is changing, but for the moment, we are working between Europe and the Africa continent.
What is your current position in your business?
Well, actually, I am not anymore working at sea. In our profession, by the time if you are doing your profession long times working at sea, depends. Each other is different, but we usually pass to earth to work in the maritime company, such as marine superintendent or marine surveyor, technical responsibility or human resource responsibility in the maritime companies.
What skills do you need to be a ship captain?
Well, first of all, we need to love our job. We need to like to do our job. The skills we have to train how to survival at sea when we are executing our profession, and such as we need to know how to help other crew working on board, some basic survival skills.
What are the responsibilities of a ship captain?
Well, this is a very good question, but concerning the responsibility of the ship captain, a ship captain, he must have so many experience to manage his profession. We used to call at sea marine master. Marine master, which means he is a manager of the vessel. He must understand the human relation, he must understand language, he must understand meteorology, he must understand the engineering of the engine, and he must understand the navigation. So for one marine master, he has a lot of responsibility, and when he is applying in the vessel all this experience, he must combine all this experience at the same time in order to have a better result to manage his vessel, which means he's a kind of like a manager of the vessel.
How long have you been working?
Well, professionally, I can say that I have started my professional life since 20 years. But before professional life, Of course, we have been work in the sea, at sea, but it was not professionally. Till now, we have about 20 years.
What did you do before this?
Almost the same thing, but non-professionally. Adolescent time, I was always working at sea, but we can call this like working in the yacht and the fishing boat before going to work in the professional vessel to high sea.
What's your favorite part about working as this ship captain?
Can you repeat, please?
What is your favorite part about working as a ship captain?
Well, favorite part, we like navigation. When, as I said before, and when we are working at sea, we are dealing in so many different parts. But among of all the parts, my favorite is the navigation and the navigation, study navigation and navigation science and meteorological science, my favorite part of my profession.
Has your role changed since you have been working in the ship? Has your role changed since you have been working in the ship?
Of course, like other profession, all the profession, when you start in the beginning, your level should be always assistance position. And in the sea, we used to identify those levels such as cadet and then the deck officer. And the deck officer is dividing between second, third, and the chief officer. Then when you rise up gradually, and by the time you are getting the more and much experience, this is the way how you are going to be marine master, ship captain.
Is your job what you thought it would be when you started?
Yes, that was my favorite profession. Supposed to be always. I was thinking that one day I should work at sea, and I was thinking that I shall be more satisfied and successful when I am doing this job.
How much job security do you have in this position?
In the vessel at sea, when we are working, we cannot say that we have a fulfilled security, because the nature of this profession is accompanied with so many dangers, so many troubles, so many difficulty. Even if the technologies advance, growing and changing, but when you are working in the ocean, far from the earth, we are facing with so many difficulty with the rough sea, such as the rough sea, and let's say if the meteorological condition is continue, the seafarers, as generally we say seafarers, the seafarers always should face this kind of difficulty.
What kind of decision do you make?
Decisions, well, when we change the ports, when we leave one port, one continent to go another continent, another ports, on arrival, we used to meet with different kind of trouble and the difficulties. For example, if you leave the Europe continent with your vessel to go to Africa, on arrival destination, you have maybe epidemic zone or the war zone. When you arrive at destination of the war zone, and sometime to protect your vessel and to protect your crew, you must take a hard decision concerning the security of cargo and the crew.
What are the major qualifications for success in your occupation?
What are the? Sorry.
What are the major qualifications for success in your occupation?
Well, in the sea, we are the seafarers. Usually, we used to say, in the beginning, God created earth, heavens, and the sea. And the sea. So the sea life we separate from the earth life because when the peoples are living at earth, each one have idea about how his neighbor is living. But most of people no have idea. It is of course very normal. Most of people no have any idea or sufficient idea how the people could live in the sea, at sea. Therefore, to live at sea, you must first courageful person, and you must love your profession, and you must be well-disciplined person to come out with the success.
When people usually leave this career, what is the main reason?
If the day people reach a level that he should leave the career, it must be to do something much better than what he is doing. An example, myself, I've been work at ship long time, but after getting a lot of experience, I must use my old experience as marine surveyor or marine superintendent working in maritime company on the earth. Those maritime companies who are managing the shipping company, they are managing a lot of vessels, making a regular line between the countries, doing the sea transportation, because business in the world is growing and trade is growing, and when we are looking the transportation in the world, air transportation and the land transportation still is not sufficient to elaborate, to carry the trade and the business exchange between the countries. That's why we still need a sea transportation, and then we still need to grow in the sea business.
Do you have any advice for someone who is interested in this job?
Yes, I have so many recommendations. As I said before, I would like to say, first of all, any person who interested for our profession, he must have a large view. He must be a wise person and analyze what he is going to do. First of all, he love the profession, and then he must prepare himself in theoric way, which means getting the better education, better formation, studying all concerns and learning all concerns his profession before getting the step to go work at sea.
Do you have any other information you would like to add?
Yes. First of all, I appreciate this interview to be a helpful person, those who are looking to do this profession. Our profession is when we are looking to human history and the world history, it is almost one of the oldest profession in the world. So, if the countries, if the peoples alive, and the business continue, the trade continue, our profession also should continue forever. And then what we have to do, we need to know how to increase and how to grow the conditions of our profession, and also to explain those people, if they have a hesitation to walk at sea, they don't supposed to scare to walk at sea. They don't supposed to be hesitate too much, because as you know, superfice of our world, big part is the water, and human being must learn and must adopt himself how to live and how to walk and how to get profit from the sea.
The questions are finished for this interview. The questions are finished for this interview. Thank you for watching the interview with my father.